flex pipe had failed on my 2008 VW Rabbit, so we're going to replace the catalytic converter assembly on that Rabbit. First thing's to get the car up on ramps, so line up those ramps, carefully drive the car up onto them, then apply the parking brake, and use chocks on your wheels. The studs and nuts that hold the catalytic converter assembly to the exhaust manifold can get very rusted. Apply penetrating oil several times a day in advance. Here's a close look at how bad that rust is. Now when you start to back those nuts off, feel if they catch a little bit, you can twist them back the other way. If they're not moving, don't force them. You don't want to break these studs. Here's another view just to show you the angle I'm coming at. I'm actually using a 2-foot extension to get at these nuts from behind the flex pipe. The post-cat O2 sensor can also be really sticky, so make sure you apply penetrating oil and let it soak in there. Get a nice big crescent wrench or box wrench on it, get yourself some good leverage, and pray that it breaks free for you. Back that post-cat O2 sensor the rest of the way out and tuck it away. There is a place in the splash guard, almost looks like it was meant for tucking this thing away. Here's a closer look. Next we'll remove the pipe clamp that fastens the back of the catalytic converter assembly to the resonator pipe. Just 2 nuts, loosen those things up. Hopefully it's not too rusted and you should just be able to slide it to separate the 2 pipes. Next we'll pop out the 2 13mm bolts that are holding on this exhaust hanger bracket. That means the whole catalytic converter assembly will now only be held on by the rear bracket, which comes off next. Pop off the 4 13mm nuts that are holding on the rear bracket. As you get towards the last 2 nuts, make sure you keep a hand on the exhaust so it doesn't fall on your face. Now with that bracket off, you can just yank out the entire assembly and drag it out from underneath the car. Quick inspection of mine showed that that flex pipe was almost completely disconnected. I mean, I barely had to put any force on it to just tear off that front portion of the assembly. We do want to salvage that front exhaust hanger bracket, so use a screwdriver to just gently pry out one of the grommets. The second one comes out a bit easier. You can generally do that without the screwdriver. Now in my case, the exhaust hangers on the replacement assembly did not mate up with the hanger bracket, so I had to use a pry bar to get that to the point where it would actually mate up. Sometimes these things get damaged in shipping, so make sure you check for proper fit before you get it on the car. Now, as you can see, the Wisconsin winters were not kind to the exposed portion of the studs coming off of that exhaust manifold, which is really concerning to me, so I wire brush them clean, use penetrating oil, wire brush them some more, wipe it down, use some brake cleaning fluid to get that nice and clean and dry again before finally applying some anti-seize compound. Put your new bimetal gasket in place and we should be ready to start installing the new assembly. Now the rest of this is going to go by pretty quick, guys, because install is the reverse of uninstall. So get the CAD assembly back in position, reinstall that rear bracket. That'll support the assembly enough where you can position it to hand tighten the 4 nuts that hold the assembly to the exhaust manifold. Stainless steel nuts in my case, don't want to see rust like we did last time. Grab your extension and torque those 4 nuts down. Reattach the exhaust hanger bracket with the 2 13mm bolts. Now that post-cat O2 sensor is notorious for getting stuck, so let's make sure we put a little anti-seize on there. A bit more surgical than what I did with the nuts or rather the studs for the exhaust manifold. We don't want any of that paste getting into the O2 sensor itself and affecting its operation. Slide your pipe clamp back into place to attach the CAD assembly to the resonator assembly. Cinch that down, make sure it feels nice and snug. Finally, turn your car on, get underneath, do a full inspection of everything you just replaced, make sure there are no leaks, make sure everything sounds alright, and enjoy your replacement catalytic converter assembly.